Good evening. This is Elder G again. This is Monday, February 2nd, 2026. You see the illustration I got up there? This is the president. This is the president of the United States talking. A president that's supposed to look out for every American citizen. And even if you're not an American citizen, here in America, you are supposed to go through due process. The president, half of this country is a race of people that's not white. Just think about this now. Half of America is not white. But the president of the United States is taking our tax dollars. And he's going out there and he's terrorizing the American people. Now, think about this now. The Constitution gives to the executive branch, their number one job is to protect the American citizens and to not to make any difference between the American citizens, no matter what race they is, or how they educated, or what their economic background is. When you're running for president, he ran as a Republican. But that's just to try, you got the Republicans, you got the Democrats, you got the Independents, you got the Green Party. So those are just parties. But once you win, the race is over. You are the president for everybody. But President Trump, he's not the president for black and brown people. He terrorizing them. He's not the president for the Democratic Party. He terrorized them, no matter what race they are. He terrorized them. He's not the president for good white people in America that's not prejudiced, that try to help black and brown people get their rights. He'll kill that white person that's trying to help the black and brown people. Quick, and he'll kill the black and brown people. Because he look at white people that help black and brown people to get their rights and their freedom is a traitor. And traitors deserve to be killed. The president of the United States called Democrats traitors to the Constitution. That's because they want to try to get equal rights for everybody that's an American citizen. Just think about how evil that is. Just think about how dangerous this man is for black and brown people and for white people that believe in justice. Look at him. Look at his eyes. His eyes, if you know anything, if you talk to anybody that study people's eyes, I done saw many people with dementia. When you look in Donald Trump's eyes, you don't see nothing. See, he's so arrogant, but he can't remember stuff. And when he can't remember stuff, oh, he's vicious then. He's a vicious man. But just don't think about this man. Think about the 77 million people that don't have dementia. Think about the 6th Supreme Court justice, the man that don't care nothing about race, told Trump he can profile people just driving because of the color of their skin. This man told the ICE and the border agent they don't need no warrant to bust up in somebody's house. That he giving them total immunity. The Supreme Court did that. The Supreme Court is supposed to look out for the Constitution. That's what they put there for. They put there to make sure that no king and no dictator could rise up. The Supreme Court with the MAGA, they fail America. They fail America. The MAGA in the House, in the Senate, they fail America. They believe in white supremacy. That's why you screen everybody. That's why you have hearings to make sure that you don't get no bigot in the White House. To make sure you don't get no bigot in the Senate and the House of Representatives and in the Supreme Court. But that's what you did. And you didn't care. Now you're going to feel what the black people and what the brown people been feeling for over 400 years. Now you're going to find out that black people is not afraid of you. The brown people are not afraid of you. The good white people, they're not afraid of you. See, black and brown people, see, we believe in God. We believe in mercy. We believe in grace. We believe in forgiveness. But Donald Trump and his minions, they don't have no mercy. They don't have no grace. They don't have no dignity. They don't have no respect. This is our time. This is where God wants us to be. It's a time like this. It's when you got to make that decision on which way you're going to go in this battle. This battle is not against flesh and blood. This battle is against principalities and it's against powers that's in high places. There is no more straddling the fence. There is no more giving no BS excuses. Either you're going to stand with God or you're going to stand with the devil. A storm is coming. And whenever a storm comes, you got to button down the hatch. You got to prepare for the worst. And you got to hope for the best. This is your time. They have already fired the first shot. I'm not talking about a physical shot. I'm talking about evil is trying to dominate God and dominate Christ and trying to say that God is a phony and Jesus ain't gonna save nobody. That's what they trying to say. But God always he always got a ram in the bush. There is always some people that God had prepared just for a time like this. Listen to what Donald Trump tell the media. They don't take him off of social media. He go on NBC, he go on CBS, he go on all the news channels, and he talk all that racist garbage. They run behind them like he's a god. That's what the press does. The press is supposed to be looking out for the Constitution. The press is in the Constitution, and they sit there and let this man attack the press. You know, when you attack the press, you're attacking the Constitution. That's war. That's war against the press. The American people, if you're not for the Constitution, you're against it. And anybody that's running with the Trump gang is against the Constitution. They're against God. They're against Christ. I don't care who you are or what you claim you are. I know that God wouldn't let somebody eat children. Impregnate a young 13 or 14-year-old and then take the baby and eat it. I know God wouldn't allow that. I know God wouldn't let no 13 or 14-year-old give old men massages. I know that God won't let that happen. I know that someone believed in Christ wouldn't have his best friend to be the United States' worst pedophile in U.S. history. I know that I wouldn't want to be friends with someone that molesting children and selling children. I know it as a man of God. I wouldn't associate myself with a man like that. Anybody that would associate with somebody like that is evil. They can't have no feelings. They can't have no conscience. The president of the United States, that's supposed to be the president for everybody, to look out for everybody equally. Listen to what this man tell them no good Republicans. Trump say Republicans should take over voting in at least 15 places. The president, knowing that voting, that's what the state does. The federal government just certify the votes, but the state run the votes. The president of the United States is telling his Republican people they should take over voting in at least 15 places. If that ain't treason, if that ain't violating the voting rights, will you please tell me what is? If a president that's supposed to uphold the Constitution, whether it's foreign or domestic, tell one of the parties, the Republican Party, that they should take over voting in at least 15 places. What you got to say now, prejudiced people? What you got to say? What do you think the black and the brown people and the good white people, what are they thinking now? that you are against the Constitution, that you are a traitor to the Constitution. You said it with your own words. Trump said Republicans should take over voting in at least 15 places when you know that's unconstitutional and you know the states run voting. And you still sit there and act like you don't know what he said. You know what that means, black and brown people, right? He coming for us. He coming for us with his own money, with our own money. He coming from us for us with the weapons that we bought. He coming for us with the people that we pay our salary. We pay their salary. That's a straight up threat. Let me tell you something. If you was in the hood and you got two rival gangs, I ain't calling no gang's name, you got two rival gangs, and one of the gang members tell another gang member, the treaty that we just made ain't no good. You might well throw it out because this other gang is not going to obey the treaty. Then you know what the gang that got threatened, you know what they got to do, right? Because when another gang member threatens another gang member, you can't let that stand. If you want to survive, and you surviving by your reputation will keep you alive or will get you dead. When the president of the United States tell one particular party out of many that they should take over voting in at least 15 places, you know that you got trouble. You're going to call a meeting. You're going to get all the important gang leaders together. And then you're going to sit down. And then you're going to make a decision to act. You can't let that kind of aggression stand in the hood. That's why there's so many killings in the hood. I know y'all on the outside of the hood, y'all think it's all chaos. It's not all chaos. It's that when you make an agreement with people, like we have a constitution that everybody's equal. So that means that Trump ain't no better than me. And he ain't no better than you. So if what Trump just told the people that they need to take over, we can tell the Democrats the exact same thing. Let's take over 15 Republican places. Let's arm ourselves to the T. Legally now. I don't believe in violence. I believe in love. I believe in peace. I believe in joy. And I believe in long suffering. But I'm a man of God. And since I'm a man of God, I don't care if I get banned. What? I get banned for speaking truth? But speaking love? I'm only telling you what's in the Constitution. Just because Donald Trump is the president, he ain't no better than us. In 3 months, he's going to be out of office or dead. But the legacy that left behind It's what's going to affect your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids. The Bible tells you that every force that comes, there is a greater force right behind it. Which way are you going to go? Who you going to choose? Somebody that pledged their allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all? Or are you going to stand for an evil person that trying to destroy and take away your constitutional rights just because they don't like people of color and they don't like good white people that support them? They don't have no more. Precedent is things that happen that had never happened before. Like the Supreme Court gave Donald Trump total immunity. The Constitution said that we can't have a king or a dictator. So how can you give a president total immunity from prosecution? He can even assassinate his opponent. That's not in our Constitution. The Constitution calls someone like that a traitor. Let's see when the blood is being shedded. Let's see when your son and daughter are laying in the street while Donald Trump and his minion is in a multi-billion-dollar bunker, laughing at you because they don't care nothing about the future of this country. They don't care nothing about the freedom in this country. Especially, they don't want it for black and brown people. That's kind of sad, ain't it? Ain't that sad? How these white people can get these ideas in their head that they better than everybody else, that they know better than anybody else, when they really don't know nothing. That's why they mad, because they don't have 400 years with their foot around the black and the brown people neck, and they still losing. Just think about this. You had black people in chains. You took the Native American land. You took the Mexican land. You had your foot around their neck. You wrote all the laws that benefit you, but it didn't benefit the black and the brown people. But the black and the brown people still rose up. The black and the brown people still prevail. The black and the brown people, by the help of God, is 90% of the world's population. No matter where you go in the whole world, you're going to find less than 10% of Caucasians. That's the battle you want? That's the battle that you think that you're going to win? Come on. Black people have been through slavery. Black people have been through hanging on trees. Black people have been castrated with their private part put in their mouth just because they looked at a white woman. Black people have been burned at a cross. Denied the right to vote. Denied the right to own land. Survive off of scraps while the present white people live in glory. But at the same time, God was building up the black and the brown people for a time just like this. It's our time now. We want everybody to be treated right. We want justice for everybody, no matter what race you is, what your politics is, who you love, or are you a male or a female. Every human being deserves the same rights and respect. This is our time. This is the opportunity that's been prepared for us for 400 years. This is it. If you lose this fight, you done lost your freedom of speech. You done lost your freedom of religion. You done lost to love who you want to love. Vote for who you want to vote for. I stand with liberty. I stand with the Constitution. I'm going to say it again just like the white folks said. You're going to give the black and the brown people liberty, or you're going to give us death. Your blood is red just like mine. You can go down just like the black and the brown people. Just think about this. And that's why I keep on pointing this out. You don't mismanage and mishandle and slaughter all these millions of people for over 400 years, and you're still using that same playbook. When you can't win in the boardroom and you can't win in the bedroom, then you can't win. Black women, the one that you said was ignorant, the demographic right now with the most degrees and everything is black women. So you can't use that ignorant thing no more. Because black women is getting more degrees than any race in this country. Everything and all the lies that you told because of social media, thank God, I don't agree with everything on social media. But social media have exposed these prejudiced white men for what they is. They can't lie no more. They can't cover it up no more. So they trying to start a war that they can't even win. The Bible says, before a man sit down to build a house, he said, a good smart man and a good educated man and a good godly man, he said, before he started to build a house, he said, the first thing that a smart man gonna do, he gonna sit down and he gonna count the cost. The only cost that Donald Trump have is that he have a concept of a plan. That means he don't have no plan. Remember, he been saying ever since 2015 that he got a healthcare plan. He got a great healthcare plan. This is his second term in office. 5 years in office. Where's the plan? He ain't never had a plan. He never planned on having a plan. Because he was planning on being a dictator. But President Trump, I'm sorry. God ain't going to let that happen this time. God is going to put your reign of terror to an end. Your reign of terror is going to be over. And you're going to do just like Lucifer did. You're going to pull down a third of the Caucasian people, and you're going to pull down some blacks and some Mexicans and some Asians and some Native American, Arab, and Jew. You're going to pull them all down with you. That's what Satan did. It says Satan brought down a third of the angels in heaven with his tail. That's the same thing Donald Trump is going to do. But Jesus is on the main line. See, all you got to do is call him up and tell him what you want. His line is never busy. He don't slumber or sleep. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. He may not come when we want him, but he always right on time. Jesus is right on time now. That snake have raised his head. And the Bible say he's going to bruise your heel, but you're going to crush his head. That's war. Donald Trump is beating the drum for war. And the unbelieving people that follow him, you're going to be thrown into the lake of fire that burn with brimstone right along with. First, Satan going to go in there, then Satan angels, and then the false prophets, and then the one that follow the false prophets. God's word always come true. This is going to be the greatest fight that the United States ever had. If there's a civil war, this country is going to be totally destroyed. Most of the cities and everything just going to be leveled to the ground because of hate. All the books that are going to be written with the people that survive is going to paint the prejudiced white man in a dark way. That he was willing to burn down the number one economy in the world. Where people has been living here together, not all great, for over 400 years. And because of the hate that's in his heart and in his soul and in his mind, before he'll let a black and a brown people rule over him, he'll burn it all down. Boy, when the history is being read and your grandkids and great-grandkids read about what happened in 25, 26, 27, and 28, they're going to cry. And they're going to be ashamed when they start reading all the obituaries that's on the wall that said President Trump caused millions and millions of people to die just because of his prejudice. He didn't think nothing about his children's future or his grandchildren's future or his great-grandchildren. Because you know, when the Civil War started, there was only like 3 million people in the whole country. In North America here, it was only like 3 million folks. You talking about at least 135 million on one side and 135 million on the other side. If everybody just killed one person that day, that's like 300, that's like, just think about that. 135 million people could be dead if each person only kills one person that day? 135 million people dead. Businesses gone. Buildings gone. Roads gone. Not because you was attacked. Not because someone was trying to overthrow the government. You did it simply because of hate. When you go to bed tonight, just think about that. You're going to let millions and millions of people die. 135 million people of color, with some white people with them. So over 135 million people, and everybody just killed one person. That's all, just one person. 135 million people are dead. Because prejudiced white people don't want to be around black and brown people. When the white people is the one that went to Africa and got the black people. Golly, man. That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. Thank you.